Let's face it, with the Dragon Ball Super manga so far behind its anime counterpart, there have been many changes and different storylines that the majority of the fan base cares less for, and a logical reason for this is because of the fact that since the manga technically comes after the anime instead of the traditional way around, the anime is what sets the groundwork for what the actual manga does. But what if I told you that the manga version of Goku has an ability that would be unfair in the Tournament of Power and possibly against other opponents in the series? Well, let's discuss it all today. So, for those of you who guessed it correctly, the manga exclusive move to Goku would be his imitation of the Hakai technique, literally translated as destroy. But the next two things we have to do is define erasure versus destroying, and we also have to see the major differences between these techniques. And from what we've seen so far, the big difference between these two is the fact that Zeno's erasure is on a much larger scale where he wipes out every living entity plus the entire universe at once. And when you compare this to the God of Destructions who used the Hakai, it's usually on a much smaller scale and used for individual people or small groups. But through dialogue, it's evident that through a Hakai, you are erased and not dead and sent to the afterlife traditionally. The first piece of evidence to support that you're actually being erased would be the energy of destruction. It is said that whoever has the ability to harness this energy could erase their opponents. And remember, the energy of destruction is actually a small sample size of what gods of destruction can actually do with their power. And through more comical dialogue, Beerus has threatened to erase Goku on top of also erasing the ghost form of Dr. Masharito in Dragon Ball Super episode 69, even if it was a gag funny episode. And another thing we must discuss is defining killing versus erasing. In theory, if Goku used the Hakai or destroy technique, does this technically count as killing someone if you're actually erasing them? Well, if you take the word killing literally, you are removing and taking someone's life away, and in the Dragon Ball world, to kill means to take their life away and send them to the afterlife. But when you erase them, you aren't technically killing them, as you are ceasing them to completely exist in both the living and the dead world. But how would all of this apply to the Tournament of Power? Well, the first thing we have to do is consider when the rules were constructed in the anime. Did the Grand Priest and Zeno, along with all of the Kais, Angels, and Gods of Destruction, think that a mortal such as Goku actually possessed the capability of doing a move such as the Hakai? And because of this, there's a potential loophole where you can virtually erase all of your opponents, and after this, Zeno would just erase the remainder of said opponent's universe because they lost, and everyone would be gone. And with this move comes the potential to easily win the Tournament of Power against opponents who wouldn't be able to stop it simply because of the fact that all of these gods didn't perceive how this move could be used. But with the theory now laid out for all of you guys, how realistic is this actually? Well, if the Hakai was factored into the Tournament of Power, I'm almost certain that it would be classified as a killing move, as erasing does fulfill many of the properties that killing a person would. But as I said before, the lack of expecting a mortal to use a technique like that would cause a major confusion in all of this, and would cause an ultimate loophole that can give you an easy way to win. So my conclusion to this would be that if a mortal actually had the capability of doing this in the anime, it would be outlawed due to the very dominant potential that it would have in the battlefield. And it's moments like this where manga exclusive stuff makes you wonder about the balancing of the Tournament of Power itself. So overall guys, that's been my case on Manga Goku and his potential Hakai that we've seen so far. I'd like to thank Lazuli18 for actually bringing out this argument, and she actually talked to me on Twitter and brought up many of these points, and I couldn't have done this video without her, as she did give me the groundwork into doing this video, and a link to her Twitter will be in my description. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, and please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and remember, as I always say, to have a great day guys.